Assalamu alaikum, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we'll be discussing about how to use Microsoft Word. This is basically Microsoft Word 2010. The functions and the features that we are going to discuss, they are available in almost all the versions. Microsoft Word is used to process applications, to make documents and to format documents. Everything that can be written is processed in Microsoft Word. There are so many styles, there are so many things, there are so many settings that you have to understand. So first of all, I'll tell you about the basic layout. What is the basic layout of this software? You can see on the screen over here. Then you can also see what are the functions, and we will also discuss briefly that how to make better use of these functions. So first of all, talking about the layout is really very important. If you look at this window, you can see on the top there is title of this document. Because this document has not been saved yet, so by default its name is document 1. You can see on top of the screen, and you can follow my cursor as well. This is for minimize. If you keep your cursor over there for some time, then you'll see a minimize information, that whenever you click minimize, the document will be minimized. This is for maximization, and this is for closing. Now over here, this is the help feature. If you click on the help, it will take you to the default help. Then these are a few things. For example, this is for save. If you want to save any file, or if I want to save this document, I just need to click this, and then it will ask me to name the document. For example, I am naming it as practice session for MS Word 2010. Over here you can save this document into many forms, for example PDF or for previous versions, but right now we'll save it to Word document and click save. Now as soon as I saved that document, the title of the document has changed. The title has changed from document 1 to practice session for Microsoft Word 2010, which I just named. Now we can see these menus or these functions. The first one, which is very similar in most of the softwares, is the file menu. When you click the file menu, you'll get save. If you want to save any progress or any task, then just simply click save, or Ctrl plus S is the shortcut for this. If you want to save as will give you to save that file with the new name or with the new version, for example in PDF or whatever. So I click save as, and now it will ask me the same as if I am saving it for the first time. Then this can be a shortcut to save as Adobe PDF. You can open your document, close your document. This is the information of your document. Everything that the document holds is shown over here. That the total number of pages, the word count, the size, and when it was created, what are the comments, who created, who was the author, who modified the file, and things like that. In the recent, all the documents that you have opened recently will be shown. That the documents that you opened recently. For new, when you click new, here is the list of the document that you can create. This is just a small list. It is not limited to this. You can open a lot of themes. For example, if I click over here, it's connected to the Microsoft, and it will try to download that theme. Depending upon your internet speed, it will take the time. For example, and here you are. Now this is a theme from Microsoft directly. You can edit this theme. This can be your first title page or anything, so you can make any sort of document. I just want to redo it, so I'll press Ctrl Z. So it's not redoing it because I've not done anything, so I'll simply press Ctrl N and close these documents, and we'll come back to this practice session. Now it's very technical to understand and very simple to understand that as if you have different lengths of paper. For example, a paper has A4 size, a paper has legal size, a paper has letter size, A3 size, envelope, passport, things like that. So the first thing you should know is what you want to create. For example, if you want to write an application and you want to print that, and in the printer you have A4 pages, so you must set your page to be A4 because all the formatting will be on the A4. If I keep it a small, let's say, size, it will not print to that A4 size. For example, I'll click on page layout, and over here you can see these are the sizes available. Now if you look at this envelope is just 4.12 inches into 9.5 inches. Now the envelope has changed. You know what is meant by envelope. For example, if you want to write a name on the envelope and get it printed, so first you need to select the right size of the paper. In normal day-to-day activities, we usually use A4, or for Urdu we use letter or legal. For English we normally use A4 size, so it is the default size that the Microsoft gives you. Then you can click on the margins. What is meant by margins? You can see over here, please follow my cursor, that okay, so the margins are basically the margins of the paper where you cannot write and what cannot be printed. For example, if I want to write this is just a practical session. Now you see it starts writing from here. So it's not writing before this line or before this margin, but when I set the margins, for example, to narrow, now you see that it has moved within the margins. So margins are always present on notebooks, on registers, that you have a margin and you write within that margin. So normally this margin is set to 1 inch above, 1 inch on the left, right, and 1 inch below. In this margin, what you can do is you can insert your header on the top and you can insert your footer below. For example, page number or title of that document. So we'll click on insert and then we'll click on header, and let's say and I'll close this header. Now if I go to next page, this header is over there automatically, so it will keep on shifting to next pages again and again. The next thing is footer. So we just want to make a layout of the paper first and then we can write, because we want that paper to represent whatever we want to represent. So we'll click on footer, and now there are so many varieties, but I'll simply go and I'll click, let's say, this one, and I'll close the footer. Now over here there is auto page numbering for 1, number 2, and if I move to the next page it will automatically create number 3 and so on and so forth. You can always edit or remove these things. If you want to see these features, these are really very important in the home menu. This is the paste key or paste function. This Times New Roman is your font style. Font is basically the way you want the text to appear, the writing style. For example, it's set to Times New Roman right now, but if I click over here and let's say I'll select the Cooper Standard Black, now the writing has changed and it will keep on writing in this way. Okay, what Microsoft gives you the opportunity is that you can write one line in one font or one word in one font and you can change it to other. So it totally depends on your aesthetic sense, but normally we don't want that. We want to stick to one font only. So we'll go and select Times New Roman. The next thing is your size. This is called the font size and it is measured in points. It is measured in points. So standard is 12 points. When we click, this is 8 point. But it is still readable. If you click over here and click, let's say 72. This is the maximum font. Or let's try, I've never tried beyond 72. Let's go for 80. And it's taking you to 80. And how about 150? There you go. Let's say so it has moved, and now you can see the page numbering is there automatically and the header is there automatically. So you don't have to manually add these things. Once you added these, it will be there forever unless you remove these. So we'll take back to 12. Okay, now let's start with the heading. If somehow I remember that I want to have an heading, for example, I can simply click over here and now it has make this word introduction into heading 1. For subheadings, I'll click over here and click heading 2. For let's say this word, I want to make it heading 3. So you can keep on heading levels, heading 1, the main heading, then heading 2, heading 3, subheading, subheading and subheadings. Or even you can click over here and create it as title. So this is the title, for example, chapter, or let's say you want to create a title of assignment 1. So that will be your title that represents what this document holds. Then if we want to clear all the formatting that we have done, we just have to click over here and everything is gone and it will return back to the default setting. It can be done to whole document or it can be done to a single line or any page. These are to increase the font size and these are to decrease the font size. Over here it gives you different options to choose. For example, sentence case. In sentence case, the first word is capital. Let's say, and I click over here, I click and I sentence case. Now if I select this and lowercase, so all the letters are in lowercase. If I want to make all the letters in uppercase, so all the letters are in uppercase now. If I want to toggle, for example, over here, so it can be toggled, or if I want to capitalize with each word, the first word, it is capitalized. So this is called formatting. You are formatting the document, you are formatting the page, or you are formatting the line. This B represents boldness, something that can be bold or something that can be highlighted. For example, if I want to highlight this practical session, I just click this or Control B. If you click once, it will be bold. If you click twice, it will be unbold. Then I for italic. For example, Control I is the shortcut. So this just to is not straight, but it is italic now. If you want to underline it also, here you go, and you can even select different types of underlines. So you can see these lines changing. Let me zoom this first. I hope this is just readable for you. And now you can see the underline style is being changed. If you want to change the color, let's say I want to use this one, and I want to now this is just another way. Okay, for example, if you want to add a reference, usually references are superscript, so you just take this and click over here. Now it has moved a bit up. If you want it to be a bit down, just click over here and it will be down. Now there is something called as strike through. If you want to, let's say you've written a document and you have written a word, and then you just want me or your fellow to see what you have written before and what you have written now. For example, I wrote this, that I will go, and then I change it to I shall go. Will has been replaced with shall, so you can simply click over here. So the other person will know what was the first word you used, and you crossed it, and then instead of that word you use the other word. Then this is called the word art, or sometimes the smart art. These are different styles. For example, let's take this. And here you go. So you can choose any style from here. So again, this is good for headings or highlighting anything. If you want to highlight something, as if you have seen, let me show you. I think my screen is disabled right now. So if I want to highlight, just similar to using the highlighter in the document or in the book, just click over here and it's being highlighted. So if you want to send a document with some notes highlighted on it, you can share. You can change the color of the highlighter as well. Any color can be used. And the good thing is, you can see that the cursor, it has turned into a brush, and you can simply click the text that just highlight this one, and to undo you just have to press Ctrl plus Z button, and that will be undone. Now this is for, okay, this thing is your ink that you use. Let's say I want to use the blue ink. But now I want to use, let's say, this ink. Sorry about this. COLOR is American and COLOUR is the UK version. So you can change the ink color. So normally it is set to black. Okay. Now these are basically your bullets. If you want to add points, for example, tasks to do today. Now what I will do, I will add a, and this is your bullet. Let's say go to clinic, take class, go to home, go to theater. So these are bullets, and now you can change these bullets as well. For example, if you want it to be arrowhead, if you want it to be this symbol, this round, or even this tick sign or anything, you can always define. If you want to define You can change the color, you can change the style, you can change anything. So it's not that much difficult. Then I somehow remembered, no, I don't want to enter bullets. It will simply turn back. Now see, this is for numbering. For example, 1, 2, 3, ABC. So these are different formats or forms. But what if I have one point and I want to add another point into that point? For example, these are 4 independent points. But let's say go to home and go to theater. Let's change it to watch a movie. Now I know that I'll watch a movie when I'll go home. So what I can do is I can click over here and click over here. So it will become 3A, 3B. But for example, if I want to go to clinic, I just simply press the tab and I want to treat patients, perform ultrasound, collect data. So these are the points or sub points after that point. The same can be done from using this list, 1A, 1B, 1C heading and things like that. This is called increase or decrease indent. Indent is the space that you increase before some letter. For example, C. I'll increase the indent and it will take the bar to the next level, or it will keep moving. The same function can be done by simply pressing the tab buttons. Okay, now let's fill this line. See. Now I have written these 3 lines just to show you what I mean, because now if you look at this first line, the blue ink is good, it's ending over here, the next line is ending over here, and the next line is ending over here. It is acceptable for me because the third line, because it ends, it is acceptable, but this is continuous, so I don't want it to be ending before the upper line, so it doesn't look good aesthetically. So what you can do, you can select all that and you can click justify. Now have you seen the difference? It has aligned the lines and the last line will end to the point where it ends. Okay, I don't want that. I want it to be centered. Now see, it is aligned centrally. Okay, I want it to be on the left hand, it will be like this, on the right hand it will be like this, but normally we go to justify. Now it looks way too much good when it's justified, but what about these? I can do this, or for example, if somebody has written an application, yours faithfully, it's not it's yours faithfully. Now I don't want it to be on the left corner. What I can do, I can simply take it to the other corner or in the midline. Okay, now I want these 2 lines to be close. Okay, So what I can do, I can click over here. It is for line spacing, and now try to feel the difference. Control Z and Control Y. They have just approximated a bit, but again remove space after the paragraph, and now they are more approximated. So Word is just a software to make the documents and to know how to format the documents, because this will give you a better appearance, a better look. The next functions are line spacing. Can be, for example, here the standard line spacing is 1.5, not 1.15, but it is set to 1.5. So if I keep on increasing the line spacing, the lines will be more separated. So 1.5 is standard, so we'll stick to that. Then you can highlight. For example, I want the background to be in the different color and the text to be in the different color. For example, on the yellow color, I think the red will be more prominent. And again, if I want to highlight it or bold it, now this gives another view or another look. So in the whole document, I have highlighted a portion, and then I have changed the writing style and even the ink also. These are for boxes. If you want to add a border, so I have created a border around it. It can be in one side or it can be on all sides. For example, all borders, outside or inside, or let's say left border. So one border is missing right now. Over here, no borders, and we'll go to top border only, and I'll again undo it. Okay, now these are the quick functions for headings, subheadings and things like that. You can explore these. This is a very good function. It shows you the direction of the text. For example, this is for the sorting the text, that this is paragraph or this is a field and things like that. So it is an advanced function that I don't want to discuss. Now see, the text starts from the right or starts from the left. It will show you all the characters that you have used or all the spaces or anything that you have used. This one, and you don't want it to be there. And these are the symbols. Every symbol is there. For example, for space, this is the symbol. These are the styles. For example, these are different styles you can select from, and you can see how the document has changed. For colors, you can change the colors and everything will change its colors. For fonts, everything will change accordingly. There is a function to find, Control F. If you want something, for example, I want to find data, and click enter. So it has taken me to this, and it has highlighted the word. There is a very good option in the Word. For example, I have written an application to the principal, and I have used that word, let's say 100 times, and now somebody has told me that no, you don't have to write this application to the principal, you have to write this application to the student coordinator. So what you can do, one way is you go scroll the document and change every single word that you typed as principal, and the other is, for example, let's say we'll write the word principal, over here, we'll copy it and we'll paste it at the end of every almost. Now I have randomly pasted the word principal on 5 to 6 locations, and I don't want to change it manually, because if I want to change it manually, maybe if this is a research and I have to mention group A, and I've written the word, for example, control group, so I want to replace that. Just click replace. Now it will ask me find what? Principal, and replace it with student coordinator and replace all. The spelling of the principal I just typed incorrectly. Now see, it is telling you that Word has completed its search of the document and has made 7 replacements. In a single click, wherever the word principal was, it has changed it to coordinator. So it will make your task a lot easy. Then in the insert, you can insert all these things. For example, cover page. Let's say you have created an assignment and this is your cover page and you want it to be your cover page. So it will it's very similar to the title of the book. The book has also the cover page and it is different from the rest of the book, so it's very similar to that, and there are different styles. If you want to add a blank page, in so many books you might see it is written this page is left blank intendedly, so you can add a blank page over there. So this is whole blank, and you can even create a page break. So page break means the page ends over here and then starts from the next section. Then inserting table. For example, this will show you different rows and columns, but if you want to draw or if you want to insert table manually, for example, it will ask you number of rows. I'll say 12 columns, and number of rows 20. If I have 12 let's say columns and 20 rows, so it will make a table. Okay, and in the table you can also select any sort of formatting as well. You want your table to be like this, like this, like this, and even in these you can format your tables as well. In the table you can remove the column. You can see I have removed so many columns. Now I have been left with only 2 columns. Now I want to remove rows, and I'll click over here, click delete cells and delete rows. Now I want this to be stretched to the whole page. I'll simply click over here, right click, and then auto fit to Windows, and it has automatically stretched to the whole page. You can insert pictures. For example, let's say I want to add a picture of my clinic, for example. Let's say this is a picture of my clinic and I want to add it, but I want it to be small enough, or I want it to be large or any size. And in the picture you can also double click on the picture and then select all these things. For example, I want it to be corrected a bit. You might not appreciate this, what's happening over here, but see, look at the picture now. and now. So you can correct it, you can change the color, for example like this or like this. It will take some time depending upon how large the picture is. So I've taken 2 to 3 MB's picture or maybe 4 MB picture. So now it has turned it into black and white. Even if you want to revert it, so you can just undo it and it will revert, or you can create artistic effects. For example, over here, this is just an artistic effect that you can add. You can compress picture, change picture, or reset picture. So for now I'll just delete it because it's a very big file. The next thing is you can add the clip art. For example, I want to search car, and this is just a clip art. It's a basic form of a picture. I can insert shapes if I want to. For example, let's say I want to draw this shape, and again you can change the color, you can change the light, the style or shape, fill and effects and things like that. And even if you want to edit the points, let's say I want it to be like this, so you can do virtually anything on this. Then again we'll go to insert and smart art. This is really very good graphic. For example, if I want to show a process that, let's say, buy ticket, grab a seat and watch movie. So these are the steps. This is the first point, second point, and or let's say starting point, midpoint and ending point. Then again on the insert you can click on the charts if you want to create charts similar to those shown in the cricket matches, for example. So when you open these charts, it will ask you to edit the data. Let's say this is Pakistan, this is Bangladesh, and this is Nepal, and we are talking about number of PTs, यानी physical therapists. Let's say we have 5,000, Bangladesh have 2,500 and Nepal has only 1,250. There you go. You click close and then you can see. So it's just a good graph. You can choose the style, you can choose the color, you can choose the way it represents. For example, if I click over here, now you can see different styles. Or you can edit the data in the Excel as well if you want to edit the data. Now I'll go to insert and take a screenshot or hyperlink. Even if I want to create a bookmark or cross-reference, headed footer, page number, text box, these are the just menus that you have to explore or functions that you have to explore. In the page layout, the important thing is page margin, orientation. Now there are two orientations of any page. Either it can be portrait or it can be landscape. Portrait is when something is on the x-axis and landscape is landscape is on the x-axis and the portrait is on the y-axis. Now feel the difference. Have you seen? The width has increased but the height has decreased. But if I click over here The height has increased and the width has decreased. Okay, if I want to add columns in this, I can break it into 2 columns. I can break it into 3 columns. So column 1, column 2, column 3. Or if I want no column, then just keep it like this. You can also add your watermark. For example, the document is confidential, and now you can see over here you can edit that watermark. Let's say instead of confidential we call it as computer lab. Now over there, this is the watermark. You can change the page color to any color you want. The background of the whole page is changed. You can add the borders. For example, let's choose a very wavy sort of border and click OK. And now this border is around all the document. I'm talking about this black border. Then references, these are used when you want to perform a research or you write a thesis. Then you will be needing these references. Or you want to develop table of contents, for example, similar to a book in which you have table of contents like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. So it will create the table of contents. So right now, because I have clicked over here and it has created over here, so I don't want it to be here. I want it to be on the first page. And now this is telling me there is no table of content because there is no heading 1, there is no heading 2. So if you want to create a table of content, you first have to mention the heading 1, the heading 2, heading 3, and then it will automatically take all those headings and insert them into the table of content. You can similarly insert table of figures, and this is most commonly used in the research, so right now I'm not teaching you. For mailing, if you want to mail, it's not necessary. If you want to review, you want to review your spelling and grammar, or you want to use thesaurus or things like that, you can again use these. But there is one very important feature or function that is there for you guys, and it is the real review of any document. If you want to click on track changes, if you have emailed me a document and I want to click and I want to, let's say, show you what you have sent me, what I have corrected, what I have deleted, every single thing. Now I have removed the word. This is track change. That you can see, track change means what the other person has changed into your document. You simply click or turn on the track changes, and then it will save all those changes. And with this, what you can do, you can show your final document or the markup or the original one. So what was the original document, what changes were done, if you want to see. And if you turn off these track changes, nothing will be there. If somebody has changed something, you can accept or reject that also. I have given, for example, I am writing a book and I have given that book to you, and I have told you that please, if you want to change anything, do change that, but please turn on the track changes so I may know what you have changed. So at one place I use the word mountain and you change it with rock. Now I do not approve this word because a mountain is different from a rock. So I can reject that, and that will be ignored. That change will be ignored. But for example, if I wrote ocean and you wrote sea, and now I realize that no, it was sea somehow, so I can accept that word, and that will be part of my document. And you can also compare one version of document with another version. Like what was the first version and what is the second version. What I sent you, what you sent me. it will compare and it will show me all those changes. For example, if you compare or combine, in order to compare, you have to insert the original document and you have to see the revised document, the one I created and the one you sent me, and then it will take you to comparison. For view, this is just for you to have a different view of this document. For example, full screen, this is the full screen view. Control, you just have to press escape. Or web layout, this is the web layout view. In the internet you can see things like this, or print layout, or outline, or draft, and then grid lines, just like your graph paper. Navigation pane, this is telling you any heading or subheading, and you can scroll between the pages, not necessary. You can zoom in or zoom out, for example 200% and click OK, or 100%, it will be there. You want to see one page only, 2 pages only, or page width only, so it depends. And even if you click control and move your scroll on the mouse below, it will do this to your document, that it will create a smaller image of the whole document. Then this EndNote, this is a software that is used for referencing. Whenever we want to do a research, we want to acknowledge whose work we are referring to. For example, gravity, it was defined by Newton, right? So it was defined by Newton, and if I'm defining gravity and I don't acknowledge Newton, then this will be wrong, because people will understand that this is my work. For example, in medical science or in medical profession, you are writing that wherever there is flexion, there will be more stress to the spine. Said by who? You must have to tell me. If you don't tell me, then I'll assume that it is your statement. So whenever you take somebody's else work and you write it, you have to mention the name, and this is very important. You have to put the reference. For example, in Hadith, we call, let's say this Hadith number is 6243. It is taken from the book of Sahih Bukhari, from chapter number that, and who was the narrator. This is all referencing. This is not Hadith itself, but this is just a reference to that. But they all say who said? According to him, Prophet peace be upon him said this. So we always quote, we always reference back to Prophet peace be upon him, because if we don't, then it will not be a hadith. So this thing is called plagiarism. If you don't acknowledge my work, whenever you cite it, whenever you write it, this is called plagiarism in the terms of research, and this is forbidden totally. It's not allowed. If you have taken my thesis, if you have, let's say, seen my thesis and you have taken 2 pages from my thesis, let's say on the anatomy, that okay, the inner ear has this. If it was originally my work, you have to acknowledge me. If even I have referenced that work to someone else, then you have to reference that person, that according to that person, inner ear has this structure, and what I mean to say. Okay, so this is really very important, and for this, EndNote is one of the best software or referencing manager that you have to use. In most of you guys laptops, you might not see this EndNote feature, because EndNote is not installed in your systems. If it is installed, it will automatically be integrated into your system. Similarly, PDF, if you have a version of Adobe Acrobat Reader that incorporates itself automatically with Microsoft Word, then you will see these. I want to create, you know why we want to create a PDF, portable document format, PDF, if we want to retain the formatting. This is really very important, because I have created a document, I have formatted the document, and now somehow my version was different and your version of Office was different. So what you can do, you can send that document, convert that document into PDF, and it will remain similar no matter what sort of device is being used or what software is being used. any PDF viewer will show you the same. Or the another thing is, I'll click save and I'll try to see, go to recent, and it is on the desktop, the practice session for MS Word. I'll go to desktop, the practice session. Now I'll click on properties and I click read only and click apply and OK. Now this document has been set to read only, so no one can change it unless I remove that read only, because it is read only, it cannot be written. And even you can add security to your documents. If you want to add a password, if you want to protect your file using a password, you can create a password. I don't exactly recall, but let's try this. Options, and there will be something called as security. There is one setting for this. Permissions, yes, over here. Now I click on protect document, mark as final, that this is the final document. I've written a book, I've spent, let's say, one whole year formatting that book, because these books are all written in your Microsoft Word. So encrypt it with password. Let's say I've entered 1 2 3 4 5 for this file, click OK, 1 2 3 4 5 and click OK, and now this is password protected, and I'll click save on the desktop PWD. This is for password. Okay, now I want to open this file, or somebody want to open this file. Okay, it will ask you to give the password first. For example, I've created a paper, and somebody from you has taken that paper from me, from my laptop, from my USB. But if it is password protected, you cannot do anything unless you or enter. For example, it's telling me you cannot open that document, and then you have to try again. But I've entered the right password and it will take me to that document. So this is way too much easy. You just have to explore these functions, you just have to just navigate through these functions, and I am pretty sure that it will be fun for you guys. So thank you very much.